Welcome everybody to episode 5 of the Trevor Airdrie Show. I am your host, Trevor Airdrie. The show is seen every single Wednesday on MMAJam.ca as well as MNASportsmedia.com. Thanks for holding the show, you guys. And without anything further, on to the show. The recap sponsored by Combination Sports, your one-stop shop for MMA boxing gear and apparel, located at 306 King Street West in Kitchener, Ontario. If you can't go to Kitchener, go to www.combosports.com. Alright, this past weekend, we had UFC on FX8. It was live in Brazil. The main event had Vitor Belfort versus Luke Rockhold. Vitor Belfort, one of the pioneers of the sport, going up against the young gun and Luke Rockhold, last Strikeforce middleweight champion. I never saw this fight going this way. You know, I did think that it was going to be a well-contested fight, but Vitor Belfort brought it. It's a spinning back kick that nobody saw coming. Luke Rockhold didn't, I didn't, most of the fans out there didn't see that fight ending in that spectacular of fashion. And it was incredible knockout, and rightfully so, one knockout of the night. Before that, co-main event, Jacare making his UFC debut versus Chris Camozzi, who's been fighting quite a lot lately. Jacare walked away with a submission victory during round 1. Incredible submission. I called Jacare to win this fight. Camozzi, he's a great competitor, and watch out for him in years to come, but he's not on Jacare's level right now. The fight was supposed to be Jacare versus Costa Philippou. Philippou dropping out via injury, and Jacare had his way with Camozzi. Also on the main card, Rafael dos Anjos versus Evan Dunham. He won by unanimous decision. I called this fight for Dunham, actually. I thought Dunham controlled the fight after about 4 minutes of round 1. And unfortunately, bad judging, but the Brazilian gets the Brazilian judging in Brazil, obviously. And still a great fight, but I think Dos Anjos stole a victory away from Evan Dunham there. Starting off the main card, we had Rafael Natal beating Joey Zeffirino by unanimous decision. You know, not too familiar with Zeffirino, but it was a decent fight. Rafael Natal just, you know, experience. It came to fruition for him. And then on the prelim, I'm just going to run down this quick. It's a busy show today. I had Nick Lentz defeating Hakran Diaz via unanimous decision. Francisco Trinaldo beating Mike Rio via submission. Gleison Tibau retiring John Cholish. After the fight, Cholish did decide to hang up the gloves. Paulo Thiago defeating Mikael Prazeres via unanimous decision. And once again, like last week, I apologize if I'm butchering any names out there. We had Yuri Encalantra defeating Ilarde Santos. We had Fabian Maldonado defeating the lone Canadian on the card, Roger Holay, via unanimous decision. I would have loved to see Holay pull it out, but at the end of the day, that spinning heel kick to the junk, shall we keep it PG, you have to deduct a point there. That looked very painful. And then the prelim cards on Facebook, what I thought were the most entertaining. We had John Lineker beating Azamat Gashimov, which I thought was an incredible fight. And John Lineker is definitely a force to be reckoned with in the flyweight division. You had Huchier Formiga versus Chris Caricio. That was by far, I thought, the fight of the night. It was incredible back and forth action. You had Formiga defeating Caricio, unanimous decision, 29-28 3 times. And then starting off the night, you had Lucas Martin versus Jeremy Larsons via KO, 13 seconds, third round. Once again, incredible fight. The flyweights brought it. I was shocked. Not so much shocked, but I was shocked that they put on a better fight than the main card did, with names like Jacare and Vitor Belfort and Luke Rockhold competing on the card. At the end of the night, bonuses given out, 50Ks to the winner. Submission of the night, Jacare with the submission over Camozzi. No shock there. Fight of the night went to Lucas Martins versus Jeremy Larsons. Once again, great fight. I thought maybe Formiga Carasso could have, gave him a run for their money, but at the end of the day, Dana White gives it to Martin Larson. Like Martin and Larson, sorry. And knockout of the night came with its spinning heel kick from Vitor Belfort to Luke Rockhold. So that's the results, that's the recap, and it was just a great night of fights. Can't complain for free fights like that. Up next, Outside the Cage, sponsored by M&A Sports Media. Big news is coming from them guys, so go to www.mmasportsmedia.com. Go there, support your local MMA by picking up a new wristband. I believe they're $750 online, and then you include your taxes. And the proceeds do go to sponsoring local fighters in your area. It's all done by random, so everybody has a chance to win, and everybody has a chance to win equally. So tomorrow night, Frankie Edgar will be at Molly Bloom's in Kitchener, Ontario from 7 to 9 p.m. Definitely go check out the former UFC lightweight champion. Tickets are $25 in advance, $30 at the door. JT and Paul Bernier, they always bring their stuff with the Inner Circle Agency. Incredible guys. Come out, talk to them, talk to M&A Sports Media. Myself, Chad, will be there and meet the former UFC lightweight champion of the world. It'll be a great time over at Molly Bloom's. Serving staff is incredible. Definitely come check it out. As well, this weekend, I will be competing at Grappler's Quest. It's the Canadian National Championships at Century Gardens in Brampton, Ontario. Come on out, cheer on myself. I'll be competing in the no-gi 140 to 149 pound division. And it's highlighted by Kurt Pellegrino versus Brito in a grappling super fight. So definitely Kurt Pellegrino, Batman, he is coming out. Definitely a great event for local MMA and to build up the MMA community. And then finally, we have the second annual Sean Tompkins Memorial Golf Tournament. It's at Fire Rock Golf Club, 1034 Oxbow Drive in Kamoka, Ontario. You can pre-register online. If you want any information about that, just hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook, go to the M&A Sports Media Facebook page, website as well. All the proceeds go to benefit the Sean Tompkins Memorial the Sean Tompkins Memorial Fund and St. Leonard's Society of London. And you can register, like I said, online or at Adrenaline Training Center in London, Ontario on Dundas Street. So it does take place in August, so definitely check out the event. He's trained some of the best fighters in the world: Mark Hominick, Sam Stout, Chris Hordesky, Malcolm Gordon, Alex Gasson, who will be at Grappler's Quest this weekend. He trained my buddy over here, Bass Rutten. So definitely come out, check it out. It'll be a fun day of golf and events, and there's plenty of prizes to be raffled off. So definitely come check it out. So Trevor's Corner this week, sponsored by Fear the Fighter Training Academy. Want to be the best? Train with the best. Go down and see Kyle and Chad today. They'll definitely sign you up down there. It's at 512 Charles Street East in Kitchener, Ontario. And definitely go over there. They train everything: wrestling, Muay Thai, you name it, they train it. Go to www.fearthefightertrainingacademy.com for more information. Alright, Trevor's Corner this week. It's an event that's been popping up a lot lately. It's injuries in training camp. I can't stress this enough. You have all these guys dropping off the card. This past weekend in Brazil, you had 6 fights that were taken aback from injury. Casa Philippou was out. CB Dollaway dropped out, and the list goes on and on. Winnipeg just took a big hit this week with Henan Barrow dropping out via injuries, so Dan Henderson and Rashad Evans will bump up to the main event. It's one of those things, guys, that injuries are going to happen. I understand that. But when people are training as hard as they are, something's got to give when it seems like every card, one of the big matches that everybody's looking forward to, such as Henan Barrow on Winnipeg, gets taken out. It affects the sport. It affects the fans that are paying money to go see it. It affects the pay-per-view buys. So just, keep it simple in training, guys. And these injuries, they'll still happen, but they'll be more few and far between. I understand everybody wants to train really hard, go out and win, but at the end of the day, this is going to affect your long-term health. So just, keep it simple, guys. And good luck in training, and I hope all these injuries do start to come to an end, because it's really hard as a media person, as a fan, even as a fighter, when your favorite guy or whatnot drops out via injury. It affects, do I really want to order that fight? I order all the fights, but do I really want to order that fight? Henan Barrow is your favorite fighter, and now he's not in Winnipeg. So it's unfortunate for the fans of Winnipeg with, their first fight coming to the MTS Center. But it'll, the next time they go to Winnipeg, they'll definitely make up for the mistake they did. And now you do get to see Big Country on the card versus Stipe Miocic. So that's going to be a great fight. And I think Roy Nelson's going to put another guy to sleep. So to finish off the show, going to go to the rundown, sponsored by my friends over at Street Soldier. Great company, sweet swag at sweet prices. Go to www.strtsoldier.com to get your Street Soldier gear today. It's incredible gear. Every single time we're over at Grappler's Quest, Jay and Johnny, they're full of fun. So come on out to even Grappler's Quest on the weekend to pick up some Street Soldier gear. They're a bunch of great people. And when I was just starting out in the MMA world, they definitely treated me like family instead of treating me like just another newcomer. So definitely support those guys out. So this weekend, we do have the UFC in Las Vegas. I believe it is UFC 160. It takes place this Saturday. Main evented by Cain Velasquez versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva 2. And it starts live at 10 p.m. Eastern time. The main card does, and in that main event, we have seen it before. I do think a different Cain Velasquez is going to come out. I do think a different Bigfoot's going to come out. I do think it is going to be a different fight, but I do think it is going to be the same result. And that's Cain Velasquez walking away with the victory and the UFC championship. I see this fight being more wrestling oriented for Cain Velasquez, because I really wouldn't want to see him stand toe-to-toe with a striker like Bigfoot, a guy that's knocked out Fedor, a guy that knocked out Alistair Overeem. This guy is a beast. So if you stand and bang with him, you have a very big possibility of getting your head popped off. So I'm going to say Cain Velasquez. I'm going to say TKO round 2 of that fight. Co-main event, Junior Dos Santos, Mark Hunt. More likely it will be the number 1 contender to the heavyweight title, because Daniel Cormier does not want to fight his number 1 friend, his number 1 training partner, Cain Velasquez. So I do believe this will be the number 1 contendership. And I'm going to go with a upset here. I'm going to say that Mark Hunt will knock out Junior Dos Santos. We've seen it happen with Cain Velasquez knocking him out, so it's definitely possible to happen. And Mark Hunt is on a tear, and I am going to go with Mark Hunt via round 1 knockout. Somebody's going to sleep there, and I have a gut feeling it will be Junior Dos Santos. Earlier in the card, we have Glover Teixeira, the hype train, versus James Te Huna. who he's on a 4-fight winning streak in the UFC. This fight was originally supposed to be Ryan Bader versus Glover Teixeira. Like I said, training injuries are crushing the cards. Luckily enough, this is only in the third fight of the night instead of either the main event or the co-main event. I'm going to ride the hype train with Glover Teixeira in here. I do think he's more than just hype, but at this point, with only a few fights in the UFC against those top-notched opponents, there's still a lot to be seen with him. But Glover Teixeira, I'm going to pick another knockout in round 2 or round 3 of that fight. And then second fight on the main card, starting before the show starter, or after the show starter, it is Gray Maynard versus TJ Grant. TJ Grant is actually coming to Cambridge with Mass Training Academy. So definitely look up Mass Training Academy and check out the dates and the times for TJ Grant's seminar that he'll be putting on there in Cambridge, Ontario. Shout out to Mass right there. This is for the #1 contendership to Benson Henderson, as Dana White announced at the post-conference of UFC 159, Sonnen versus Jones. I'm going to go with the Canadian flavor here. I usually am pretty biased with the Canadians, but Gray Maynard, great chin, great fighter. I'm the most excited for this. I will be shocked if this does not win fight of the night. I am going to go with TJ Grant in a unanimous decision victory. And then starting the show off, you have Donald Cerrone versus KJ Noons. KJ Noons, Strikeforce guy, coming in to fight Donald Cerrone, who seems every single time he's climbing up the ladder, he gets knocked down a few pegs by losing a fight. I think Cerrone's going to come out guns a-blazing. No pun there with the cowboy mentality, or the cowboy moniker, shall I say. I think Cerrone's going to win via second round submission in that fight. And then I'm going to just run down the prelims and the Facebook fights just rather quickly. You have Mike Pyle versus Rick Story. I'm going to take Rick Story for the win there. Dennis Bermudez, I'm going to take him over Max Holloway. Colton Smith, I'm going to take him over Robert Whittaker. I'm going to take, and forgive me with this name, I'm going to butcher it, Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm going to take him over Abel Trujillo. And then on Facebook, I'm going to take Stephen Thompson over Nashon Burrell. I'm going to take Brian Bowles, who's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. He's very exciting, over George Roop. And then starting the night off, I'm going to take Jeremy Stevens over Estevan Payan. So there's the rundown. The UFC 160 start times, you have 6:35 Eastern Time on Facebook, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on FX, or the Sportsnet in Canada, and then main card starts at 10 o'clock only on pay-per-view. So that's all the time I have for today. Special shout out to my sponsors, Fear the Fighter Training Academy, Combination Sports, the boys over at Street Soldier, and M&A Sports Media, and of course MMAJam.ca for starting out the show. Like I said, you can watch every single episode on MMAJam.ca or M&A Sports Media. And tune in next Wednesday for episode 6 of the Trevor Airdrie Show. Until next time, dream it, believe it, achieve it. I'm Trevor Airdrie, signing off.